is that you call God. And it was St. Augustine many centuries ago who really focused on this in a profound way that has stood the test of time. And what Augustine said is that our hearts are restless until they rest in God. And so there is within the human person this restlessness towards God. And as we move towards God, as we move towards the transcendent, there are different ways in which we might take that approach. And I'm going to propose to you that the ways are different, yet they're the same. And as we go through the course, I want to propose that in some way where all of this is leading is how all of this eventually converges. It was Pope Francis in his recent apostolic exhortation, The Joy of the Gospel, who talked about the quest for the beautiful. And what he says is that the human person is drawn towards what is the beautiful. The way we would say it is the one, the good, the true, and the beautiful. All right, when we talk about God. But he focuses in on that aspect of the beautiful, that we are searching for the beautiful. It was Dostoevsky who once wrote that beauty will transform the world. And John Paul II, in his letter to artists, says that one cannot be in the presence of a work of beauty and not in some way be transformed. What I'm proposing to you is that these strains or these trends or these 7 schools within the history of Christian spirituality are really moments of beauty. I don't want to say works of beauty, although indeed they are, but they are a trend towards the beautiful. And this trend towards the beautiful, which draws us onto itself or himself or herself, is really what we're calling spirituality. Now, there isn't any one way that you can capture the person that we call God. It was a car runner who once wrote that ultimately God is a mystery. And that when we talk about the one that we call God, it's becoming comfortable with the mystery. It's becoming comfortable in the presence of mystery. And that at the end of the day, I would say it this way, that there are really more questions than there are answers. And so the human spirit then is moving towards the beautiful, that God is drawing us to God's self. And so I would paraphrase Augustine in this way, that God's heart is restless until we rest in God. Now, within this course, we're going to identify these 7 movements or these 7 trends over the centuries of Christian spirituality. And the 7 trends that we're going to be looking at, or these 7 movements, are these. We're going to look at desert spirituality, this movement into the desert, this withdrawal from society and what this means and why did people do that at that time in the early centuries, and how this developed over a period of time. Following upon it would be what we call, or I would call, monastic spirituality. So we'll see that there's going to be a movement into the desert and then a movement away from the desert into community and monastic spirituality. And both trends continue to go on simultaneously, but there's a development in desert spirituality as we move towards monastic spirituality with people coming together in groups. And when we speak of monastic spirituality, I will emphasize the rule of St. Benedict and the Benedictine trend within spirituality, and how this carried through for many centuries. The third will be what I like to call mendicant spirituality. And mendicant spirituality really embraces 3 different schools in the Middle Ages. It would be the Franciscan school, the Dominican school, and the Carmelite school to some extent. These 3 movements or these 3 trends